Hey everybody, it's Emily, the Crazy Worm Lady. I'm here today to update our European night crawlers. So I wanted to bring you guys along. So last week we added some bell peppers. So I wanted to see if they were starting to break down and if the worms were in the vicinity. And I will say this bin feels really warm. So there's definitely some stuff decomposing in here. As food starts to decompose, it heats up. That's why overfeeding always needs to be something you think about, because if you overfeed and the bin gets too hot, you can cook your worms. So these worms are getting really big. Can't even find these bell peppers. They're probably somewhere down here. So let's see. Here's one of them. There's a few potworms on there, little beetles and stuff. They're all just helping this process speed up and go a little faster. That right there, that's what a potworm is. They're just small white worms. And they're fine to have in your bin. Some people have an issue with them. Initially I did, but as I learn more and more, it really doesn't bother me. I don't know where that other bell pepper is, but like I said, it's nice and warm. I got a comment the other day about worm pee or the leachate that comes out of some of your bins, and I thought I would talk about that for a second because there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. Worm tea and worm urine and worm leachate, they're not all the same. As far as I know, worm urine doesn't really ever, there's never enough of that to actually create excess moisture in your bin. The leachate, however, which is the liquid that comes out of the food that you're processing in your bins, that's leachate. And what that is just the moisture from the breakdown process. And some people do use that leachate and they will dilute it, I think like 1 part to like 10 parts water. And that can be used, but they usually recommend you only use that on non-edible plants. Worm tea, however, is something I haven't experimented with yet, but I definitely will be in the coming months with summer. And that is when you take finished castings and you put them in a bag and seep them in water and you aerate it. And the aeration process helps the microbial activity and can be really a great fertilizer agent for even your edible plants. So that's the difference. And really in none of my systems do I get that leachate. I try to be really mindful of adding enough bedding that will absorb any of the moisture that's breaking down in my bins. But none of it is really bad per se. However, it's my opinion that if you have a lot of the leachate, you're either overfeeding or you're not adding enough bedding to your bin. So I just thought I would talk about that for a second. But I feel like when I added all that moisture to this bin, I'm really, the bedding, that it's really allowed these worms to grow bigger. They have more space, and it even seems like I have more worms. So I'm wondering if they are reproducing more, and therefore the population is growing. I'm going to show you real quick. One of these guys got upset with me moving him. He's climbing out my air hole. But I never get Escapee worms. This guy's just upset because I turned over their bedding. When I finish working in my bins, because I do get them a little agitated, I knock them all back down, and then I cover the bin with the cloths that I have in here, which are these. And then I just leave the light on and the lid off for a few hours until they settle back down. But these rags are really doing good at holding in the moisture in the bin. And I think that's been a good addition for me. I've heard some people use like old cotton shirts or rags like this. They use various things to cover up their bins. So I just thought I'd bring you along for this update. So please like this video, subscribe if you want some more content from me. I will continue to try to bring you guys 5 or 6 videos a week. I can't always post every single day, but I do my best to try to give you guys as much content as possible, but I want to make sure it's content that will be valuable to you guys and that you'll enjoy. So keep watching. There'll be some more updates this week. I've got a pretty free schedule, and I'm going to be setting up a whole bunch of new things. So stay tuned for that, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night.